People have been wondering for a while now, what happened with Xpeng here in Australia? Why do they not have the other models? The G9, the X9, the new G6, why have they not arrived yet? Well, there is actually a very good reason for this. And even though this year has been kind of a bit of a crazy wild ride for Xpeng in a few different ways here in Australia, things are about to change for the better very, very soon. There's been a lot of rumors in the industry, in Australia in particular, about what's been happening with Xpeng. Xpeng was meant to have the G9, the X9, and the P7 Plus this year. That didn't happen. Here's what has happened. Here's everything that I know and the story of what's going to happen with Xpeng in Australia. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Now, first, I've got to say, True EV, they're the distributor right now for Xpeng in Australia. And then, of course, Xpeng, the head office, Xpeng, whatever you want to call them, in China. I feel like I have a good relationship with both of them, and I want to try and keep it that way. So, yeah, let's just try to be as well. I'll divulge as much information to you as I think is fair to do so, and I'll try to speculate as little as possible. This year, there's been an ongoing court battle between True EV, the distributor of Xpeng in Australia, and Xpeng in China. And without going into too many details behind that, what has resulted in this court battle, which has taken many months, is that True EV and Xpeng in China will sell Xpengs in Australia, both of them. So True EV will continue to sell Xpeng cars, and Xpeng will also set up a head office. They have a head office in Melbourne. They're also going to set up their sales division as well in Australia. So they'll basically sell parallel to each other. My assumption is that for things like warranty, you'll continue to go to the places that you go to, but there'll also be additional warranty and service available from Xpeng's head office in China. Wherever Xpeng's dealers are now, True EV's dealers for Xpeng, those will remain. And those areas will be places where you would buy straight from True EV, and areas where areas where True EV have not set up Xpeng dealers, that's where Xpeng can potentially set up their own dealerships. So that's the agreement. And actually, this is kind of a good thing because it means that people who don't already have an Xpeng dealership will probably get one. Essentially, the Chinese head office, the parent company, they will likely set up their own dealerships in locations where True EV are not. Now, of course, True EV actually have some pretty major dealerships across Australia, and they cover a pretty wide network. I think they cover more than 50% of Australia's population already. I think from memory, it might be about 60 to 70%. So True EV will still have Xpeng EVs, and they'll still sell new models. Speaking of new models, when are they coming? There's been a lot of interest about this, and this is what I've been told. The new G6, the updated version, which has faster charging speed, lithium iron phosphate batteries instead of NMC batteries in the long range version, has a few changes. Not massive changes. It's not a massive change in this. Basically, the same car. They've updated the car. So 450 kilowatt charging is the main headline change. There's a few other things yet, but people are speculating all over social media on Facebook. Pretty much it's all made up nonsense. What people are saying on Facebook, they're saying, I know it's this, I know it's that. They don't know. I don't even know. No one's been told what specifications the new G6 will have. There's been speculation from dealerships and stuff, but no one really knows. Anyhow, we do know when they're coming. End of January, the new models are coming for the new G6, the updated version. Personally, I've been asked the question by a few of you, should I buy the current version or wait for the new one? The current version has a discount right now, $5,000 off, plus you get free servicing for, I think it's either 3 or 5 years. To me, considering I own one and I've had it for quite a long time, more than a year now, I've done more than, I think, 18,000 kilometers. I probably would say go with the existing one. I think having the longer range, the existing model has more range than the upcoming new model, 580 kilometers, well, sorry, 570. I think at that price point, it's the best car you can buy on the market for 55,000 Australian dollars, long range. That's my answer to that. But the truth is, I don't actually know what the price of the new version will be. I think it might be, I think it'd be very competitive, put it that way. So what does this mean for existing Xpeng customers? Well, for one, they'll have two options. They'll be able to deal with TrueEV or Xpeng from China, the head office, which could be a good thing. It's sort of like what BYD are doing right now. But one interesting thing that'll also be on the table for customers is TrueEV stores will actually have multiple models, three more brands, and I can't talk about what those brands are yet. I don't even know them actually. I only know what one of them I think is going to be. One of them could be Lucid as well. So the American car brand Lucid, which obviously they sell the new Gravity SUV and the Lucid Air sedan. Next model coming is the X9. Now I'll give you some specs on the X9. I believe the specs, I haven't been given these from Xpeng, but I believe this is what they're going to be. I'll give you those in a second. That will be coming in May. Then there'll be the G9 coming. From what I'm hearing, it looks like it'll be towards the end of the third quarter because there could be an updated version of the G9. That's the most likely model to come to Australia and well, other markets as well, including probably places like Thailand and Malaysia, the UK, potentially also, other markets like Singapore. So that's the G9 updated version coming in the third quarter of this year. I believe there's also some other cars coming. I believe the P7 as well, but I only have fairly definitive dates that I've just given you for those three models of car for this year. Personally, though, for me, the car that I really want is the X9. And, I love the Zeekr 009. It's just out of my price range. And that's the point of this new car, the new X9. Well, not the point. I mean, it's a brilliant car just in and of itself. But the point is that this will enable people to get into an electric car, which is probably one of the best electric MPVs in the world. Not probably, it definitely is, at a price point they can actually afford. So right now, there's just nothing on the market really that's below $125,000. That's the cost of the base model of the Zeekr 009. That's the MPV, right? So the base model I've been told is going to come in at about 90,000 Australian dollars. So for you guys in the States, that's just under about 59,000 US dollars, right? For a 7-seat family MPV, which is quite big. It's same size as the Kia Carnival, but more interior space than the Kia Carnival because a lot of the Kia Carnival, the front is, it's got a really kind of a big front. It's got a big bonnet. So it'll have a lot of interior space. And actually, I'll give you some actual numbers and specs here that I believe are going to have similar to Hong Kong X9. The size, first of all, is 5,293 millimeters long. So it's 5.3 meters long and it's 2 meters wide. It's certainly not a small car, which is one of the things I love about it because for me, it's ideal to be able to put surfboards in there and to be able to put bikes in the car. And you can do that with this. There's very few cars on the market where you can really do that and maybe even use it as a camper van to properly sleep in it. You definitely can do that as well. Plus, I think this is just fit out like a luxury car, but you're paying non-luxury car prices. So that $90,000 price, that gets you under the fringe benefits tax exemption point, right? Which is $91,000. Tesla's done the same thing with the Model Y Performance, put the price right just under that fringe benefits tax exemption point. So that means you don't pay extra taxes. Well, basically it means it qualifies for those EV incentives here in Australia. So the model will be coming, I believe it'll be a 7-seater, 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and 3 in the back. Those 2 in the middle, obviously, captain's chairs, which are full leather seats. They have massage, full reclining ability. They have heating and ventilation. So really, really nice seats. But the space. The X9 actually has a lot of interior space. The boot space with all seats up is 755 litres, which is actually one of the biggest in its class. Put those rear seats down and it has 2,554 litres of space. It's just on a completely different level. It even has more space than similar cars in the market, particularly because of those rear seats, those back seats at the third row. You can fold them right down, just press a button and they electrically fold into the floor, which is just absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favorite features in this car. Range. All right, the base model coming at about $90,000 will be 500 kilometers of range. It has an 85 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. The longer range model will get a 100 kilowatt hour battery. It's a 101.5 kilowatt hour battery and it's an NMC battery. And then it has 590 kilometers of range. But that'll be a bit over 90. My guess is that one might be probably about 100,000, might get some extra features. Charging speed. Charging speed is 11 kilowatt AC, and DC for the base model is 283 kilowatt DC. And for the NMC battery model with the longer range battery, 317 kilowatt. Both models charge about the same because it's a bigger battery, so they charge about the same amount of time, 20 minutes in total. So very, very fast charging. It's one of the fastest charging. It will be the fastest charging MPV in Australia when it comes to the market. Vehicle to load, it does have vehicle to load. It has 3.3 kilowatt vehicle to load, 220 volt. So that's pretty good, I think. 3.3 kilowatt is fairly standard. It's actually front wheel drive. There is an all-wheel drive in an all-wheel drive version you can get in China, and that version has been listed on the Australian website, so that might come. But the base model, $90,000 version, that's front wheel drive, and it has 235 kilowatts. It's about 300 horsepower, which also gives you 450 newton meters of torque. So that's a fair bit, because this car, it looks big, but it's actually one of the lightest MPVs in the world. And the reason it's one of the lightest MPVs in the world is because it has an all aluminium architecture. The base, basically the structural battery pack, the structure of the pack is aluminium. A lot of this car is aluminium. That's helped Xpeng to keep the weight down. And interestingly, this car uses the largest gigacasting in the world. Tesla's often talked about their gigacastings and how important they are to reducing weight of their cars and making them structurally more rigid. But the Cybertruck uses a very large gigacasting. This is bigger. This one is a 12,000 ton die cast. So one enormous piece of this car is stamped using a huge machine, and that makes this car much lighter, structurally more rigid, and also even safer as well. So that makes the acceleration pretty good for a car of this size at 7.7 seconds 0 to 100. Now, of course, it's an 800 volt architecture. You probably already knew that. So let's look at a few other things that you might not know. It has front double wishbone independent suspension, rear H-arm multi-link independent suspension, and active rear wheel steering. There's very few cars in the world, guys, that have active rear wheel steering. It's the big trump card of the Cybertruck. People talk about this. I talked about it a lot, because rear wheel steering in big vehicles is extremely, extremely useful. What does rear wheel steering do? It massively shortens your turning radius. When you're trying to turn a big vehicle, let's say you drive a big pickup truck or you drive a large MPV, turning radiuses are usually pretty big. So it might have to do a 3-point turn, with other cars you might not have to. And that could be a real pain in the butt, trying to turn around car parks and you've got a big turning radius. It's going to be quite stressful. Rear wheel steering massively shortens your turning radius, and it means that you can do turns that would be similar to a hatchback. Seriously, that's the difference it can make. So huge game changer there, in my opinion, having rear wheel steering. And people talk about this in China, on Chinese blogs and forums. They talk about how this makes a big difference to the X9. So as I said before, this car has an integrated die casting, but there's actually two large sections. The front is one huge piece and the rear is one huge piece, and then they're kind of joined up by the structural battery pack. And those die castings are made of aluminium, which is a really good way to reduce the weight of the car. Air suspension. It does have air suspension as standard for both models, long range and the standard range, which is huge. It's adjustable by 90 millimeters, which is a pretty big range of adjustability. That's nearly 4 inches of adjustability. That's going to give you that range, right? How are you going to get 500 kilometers of range from an 85 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery in a car this big? Well, that's the way you can do it, by lowering the car. So when you get in the car, it automatically lowers it when you're driving. Of course, when you're stationary or going over a sharp driveway, you might want it to be higher. But yeah, when you're driving, that air suspension really lowers the car, and that makes a big difference to your efficiency. Now, getting back to the rear wheel steering, the car has a speed sensitive electronic power steering system. And what does that mean? That is basically a reference to the rear wheel steering. And yes, of course, it's not just rear wheel steering, it's also front steering as well. But what the car does, it adjusts the way the rear wheel steering and the front steering work depending on what speed you're going. Of course, if you're going really, really fast, you don't want that rear wheel steering to react quickly, because you're going to crash. So That's one of the things that Xpeng have obviously had to work on to make that work. But that does mean the car can be even more stable at higher speeds than a car without it. Speaking of big wheels, guys, I just did a video saying car manufacturers need to put smaller wheels on their cars. That's one of the biggest mistakes they make. This does have relatively big wheels. It's got 20-inch wheels. If Xpeng did offer this with smaller wheels, that would be good because it would give you more range. You could fit them aftermarket, but the only challenge then is getting your speedometer to tell you the correct number. You'd probably use Waze to tell you your speed, and then it wouldn't matter because Waze would obviously works using a GPS, and then you'd know your speed. So there's a possibility if you want to get more range from this car, you could fit smaller wheels. The 20-inch wheels are relatively on the big side. So here are a few of the things that come standard: LED headlights and low beam headlights, auto sensing headlights, headlight height adjustment, LED tail lights, hidden door handles, electric release door open button, one-touch all windows control with anti-pinch features, automatic window wipers. The glass roofs on this car, they have sunshades. The front is manual and the rear is electric. So there's 2 glass roofs on the car. There's an electric tailgate, electric charging port cover as well. The port cover is electric like the G6. What about the interior? Well, you get some pretty cool standard features on this car. In fact, amazing standard features that you don't get in cars costing twice this price. It has a 21.5-inch second row screen for people sitting in the back, which is massive. It has an integrated cold and hot refrigerator. So that's also pretty awesome. I love these fridges that you can get in Chinese cars. They're fantastic. It has soundproof glass. The front windshield is a thicker soundproof glass. The side windows and the rear windows, they're also thicker sunproof glass. So is the sunroof. So Xpeng have really gone to a lot of effort to make this a quiet car to drive. Leather. This car actually has leather, which is unusual for EVs. The front seats and the middle seats have leather. The rear, I believe, is that synthetic leather. The front seats have 12-way electric adjustment, including 4-way lumbar support. The front seats also have position memory and welcome mode for the passenger seats. There is also heating and ventilation for the front seats and the middle seats as well. Plus, the front seats have massage, 10-point massage feature. The car does have air-cooled wireless charging, so there's 2 charging ports that are both air-cooled, and it has a driver's headrest speaker, which is basically for when you're talking on the phone, so everyone else in the car doesn't have to hear you. The second row seats, they have 10-way electric adjustment, including 4-way lumbar and 2-way leg support. They have 3-level cushions. They have 3-level heating, 3-level heating on those middle rear seats. And they have 10-point massage functions for the middle rear seats as well. The second row has sunshades. So you do have the option to basically put up sun blinds in the car, which come integrated into it. There is also table boards. So if you want to sit in and use this car as your office, you can. You can just basically pull out that table board from the front seats, have it on the back of them, and you can stick your laptop on there. The third row seats, you've got electric stepless adjustment of the headrest and the backrest. So you can electrically adjust the third row seats, not just the second row. All 3 rows have USB charging. So front row, you get USB Type A and USB Type C. Then in the middle row, you get USB Type C. There's 2 ports. And then the rear, you get 2 ports as well, USB Type C. So in the whole car, there's quite a lot of, I believe there's about 8 USB charging points in the car. The car also has a really cool feature. It has what's called, Xpeng call it X-Free Breath. It's intelligent air purification system with pollen and PM 2.5 filter. Now, it comes with all the safety features you'd expect. I'm not going to go through all those, you'd probably get bored, but there's a lot of different safety features the car comes with. Plus, it does get a lot of cameras. I think it's got 6 cameras, 2 on each side, the 2 on the right, 2 on the left, 2 cameras on the front, and 1 camera on the back. It does also have sensors. So it's got 12 sensors as well. This is not a vision-only car. That said, it doesn't have Xpeng's new Turing chip. I don't believe that's coming on international models as of yet. Could be in the future, but I don't think that's happening yet. So it has the standard chipset that Xpeng puts in their standard cars, which is the NVIDIA Orin X processor, which to be honest is actually quite good. Comes with 3 high-definition millimeter wave radars, the ultrasonic sensor I mentioned before, there's 12 of those, and the cameras as well, with 6 cameras. It also comes with 4 360-degree HD cameras. So really good 360-degree camera system to make sure you don't crash into anything when you've got a big car. It's pretty important, I think, to have that. The chipset is the Qualcomm Snapdragon SA8295. Now guys, I won't go into any more details. I will do a specific video on this car though, as we're getting closer to launch, which is, like I said, May next year, because this is the car I've been waiting for more than any other car. For the reasons I've mentioned, I think it's brilliant. And I'll do a full video telling you every single detail. I'll actually get the car, I'll test it, I'll drive it, I'll tell you everything I think about it. And before I go though, I should just mention the colors. You can get silver, black, white, and gray. And on the inside, there's actually 3 different color options. There's black, there is moon shadow brown, and there is light gray. Now there are a few options which are kind of interesting. You can get the premium lounge package, and that includes Nappa leather front seats, Nappa leather 18-way electric adjustment, including 4-way lumbar support, 4-way leg support, and 4-way headrest, second row zero gravity seats, second row 50-watt air-cooled wireless charging. So if you want to pay extra, you can get all that as part of a package. Plus it comes with an intelligent fragrance system. So that option pack in Hong Kong is $3,900, which seems like it would probably be a similar price here in Australia. Is it worth $3,900 to get that? Maybe it is. I'm not sure. It depends on really what your needs are. But ultimately, that would make this car just an absolute incredible family vehicle. It already is. So I should also mention before I go, the Xpeng G9. I've heard that that will be a new model. There will be some changes, and I think that Volkswagen are doing their own version of the Xpeng G9. It'll be like basically a G9 that'll have a different body on it, the same architecture though, the same software, the same batteries, the same power, the same motors. And that car, I believe I actually saw at Xpeng's global headquarters in China. I might be wrong, but that's what I've been hearing. So that's all the information I know about Xpeng. None of this has been made up, by the way. I should tell you that. I haven't speculated on this information that I've told you in this video. None of this is my thoughts in terms of what might happen. Yeah, the specs are from Hong Kong, which I believe are very likely. Everything else is information that's come directly from Xpeng themselves. And ultimately, I see this as a win. There's been obviously clearly a little bit of conflict between the distributor of Xpeng in Australia and Xpeng in China. And without laying any blame on anyone, because it's easy to do that, but it's really pointless at this stage. I think the ultimate situation here is it will be a win for customers because Xpeng's not going anywhere. People have been saying they're going anywhere. These people are crazy because if you think about it, right, Xpeng's margins on their cars are at record highs. And they are really in a much better financial position than Mitsubishi, than Nissan, than Renault. There's Mazda. I mean, there is many legacy automakers that are in a much more dire financial position than Xpeng are. Think about it. These companies have what on their books? Staff who do what? What do say 90% of the staff working at Mazda, Mitsubishi, these companies, what do? They work making internal combustion cars. That's all they do. Yeah, it's all they know how to do. What about their service centers? What do they know how to service? What do they work on? Their dealerships, what do they know how to sell? What do they want to sell? How do they make a profit on EVs? They don't make a profit on EVs. So really, if you think to yourself, there's all these discussions online, people saying, oh, Xpeng might disappear. I'm thinking to myself, you're the same people who think Nissan's going to be sticking around. Are you serious? Have you actually looked at the numbers? Actually, get on ChatGPT right now, ask it, say, give me an honest answer based on the data. How long do you think before Nissan goes bankrupt? Yeah, probably going to tell you 18 months. I mean, the global media is not telling you the full story on what's really happening. These legacy automakers have factories making internal combustion cars and nothing else. They are good for nothing else. Yeah, they are really not set up for the future of the automotive industry. But these newer companies, yeah, they've had a few years of struggling. Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not including NIO, and this NIO is just burning through cash like crazy. But companies like Xpeng, BYD, Zeekr, whose obviously parent company is Geely, in my opinion, even Aon, for example, the new Aon company's parent company is GAC, these companies are not going anywhere. They are much more likely to be sticking around, honoring your warranty, giving you the parts you need in 5-6 years' time than what these legacy automakers are, such as Nissan. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching.